Hey, this is Josh from WeFolder.com, and I've put together a little video tour here where we're going to kind of casually go through some of the different shortcuts that you can take in Mario Kart Wii. I figured this would probably come in pretty handy for those of you who are new to the game, and of course I'll provide some tips for taking the shortcuts as we go along. So, let's go ahead and get started. First up, we're going to take a look at a shortcut located in Wario's Gold Mine, which is a pretty awesome track. It's actually one of my favorites. And what's really cool about this shortcut is that it doesn't require any sort of a boost to take it. In other words, you don't need a mushroom boost or a star or anything like that. Once you go flying off the ramp here, you're going to land on an area of the track where the mine carts are actually going to become an obstacle. But if you follow them over to the left here, you can actually enter this little hidden cave area. You can grab yourself an item, and there's a bunch of different ramps. It's going to give you a really nice lead over the people who didn't take the shortcut. It's not always going to be extremely easy to take this different route though, because for example here I'm Dry Bowser in a heavy cart, so sometimes it's a little tricky to turn. It's easier for small carts and motorbikes. Another thing you want to watch out for is once you actually get out of this cave area, and you do the trick in the air, you want to make sure that you stick the landing. So make sure you're kind of evened out. And finally, the last thing you're going to want to make sure of is kind of obvious. You want to make sure you don't run into one of the mine carts. Here, for example, it doesn't look like this is going to work, and it didn't. So yeah, just, be cautious and use some good judgment as to whether or not you should take the shortcut. Otherwise, just go to the right. But yeah, overall, every chance you get, you should probably take this shortcut, because it gives you a really nice lead over everybody. And be sure to shake the Wii wheel when you're in the air, so that you get the extra boost when you land. Here we are at Daisy Circuit, which has a few different things to talk about. The first one is a shortcut that I think a lot of people know about. Right when you pass the finish line, or the starting line, depending on where you are in the game, there's going to be a pink building to the right here, and you can use a mushroom boost to fly out of the stairs like a frickin' rocket, and it gives you a really nice lead over everybody else. You can also take this even if you don't have a mushroom boost. The stairs will slow you down a little bit, but when you ramp out, it's still going to give you a nice lead. And then of course the other thing I wanted to point out is if you wanted to, you can come up on this sidewalk area here, and it's going to prevent you from being hit by any sort of shells or any items like that. And then finally, I need to point this out. There are Sledge Bros on the sidelines in the crowd cheering you on. So go ahead and try out this shortcut if you have a mushroom boost, and maybe even if you don't. Ghost Valley 2 has a shortcut that you might remember from the Super Nintendo version of Mario Kart. But just in case you don't, you're going to want to take a right turn from the starting line, and then of course a left turn up here. But now continue going straight towards the right, and you're going to find a little tiny ramp that you can use to boost over. Of course, when you're in the air there, you're going to want to shake the Wii wheel to get a boost when you land. And one thing you're going to want to make sure you do is start the power slide before you go off the ramp, because otherwise you're going to run into the wall there. So yeah, it's a pretty simple, easy shortcut, and it prevents you from having to go all the way around the corner, so be sure to take it. Maple Treeway's shortcut is pretty interesting because it's kind of camouflaged and it doesn't show up on the map. Past the starting line here, you're going to want to go to the right, and there's a little secret area that doesn't have a fence, and you can come back here, and there's a few boosts, you can grab an item, and you're basically going to end up cutting off the rest of the racers just before you get into the barrel cannon. And then once you get past the Windy Bridge, you have 3 different routes you can take. There's the center way, and you can ramp off the tree stumps there. And then you could also go to the left or the right, which is a better way to go, and you'll get the boost there and you can do a trick in the air. So I would suggest going to the left or to the right. They're both the same. But yeah, that's the main shortcut in Maple Treeway, as you can see right here. I'd suggest you take it because it's really good for cutting off the rest of the racers, and it does save you a little bit of time, so try it out. Here we are at Moonview Highway, which has a pretty difficult shortcut to take, at least for me. Maybe it's not hard for other people, but you're able to basically drive up on the hill over here, and you'll know where it is because there's tire marks on the hill, indicating that you can drive up on it here. And then you can fly off this ramp, but the trouble, as you can see, is it's kind of hard to stick the landing. It's easier for different types of vehicles, obviously. It kind of depends on, you know, what kart or what motorbike turns better. But my only suggestion would be to start the power slide as you're going up on the ramp. Oh, that was kind of close there. And that will help you sort of land it better. And of course, you're going to want to keep your eye out for all the different traffic in this course. I mean, it's just everywhere. There's cars, there's trucks. So try to land in the middle of the road. That'll sort of help you out. Here I am racing as Toadette on her normal motorbike because she doesn't go flying as far off the ramp and it's a little bit easier to take the turn. Here's another thing you can do that's kind of funny. If you have a green shell or a red shell, you can toss it back at the Bob-omb karts and hope that it ends up exploding right in the face of one of your opponents. Trust me, it's really great when that actually works. Delfino Square has a couple really good shortcuts that you might remember from the DS version of Mario Kart. The first thing I want to point out is that you can actually snake in this course and a few other ones. As you can see, I'm kind of doing it here. Snaking has to do with constantly power sliding, just in case you don't already know. But I don't usually snake. I just wanted to show you guys that you can do it in this course. The first shortcut we're going to check out is sort of towards the end of the race. And you can boost your way on this little dock area. I'm not doing it too gracefully, but as you can see, you can take a shortcut here. You do need some kind of a boost. You'd need, you know, a mushroom, a Starman, or even a Mega Mushroom actually works as well. And then the second shortcut in this track is located between these two buildings here. Again, though, as me and Toad are demonstrating, you're going to need some sort of a mushroom boost, a star, or something to get you through that. So let's go ahead and take that same shortcut, but this time with a mushroom boost, and you can see that actually gives you a really nice advantage over the other players. And then of course, one thing I wanted to point out is that if you have a bullet bill, just go ahead and fall down in here and the item will actually take the shortcut for you. No need to take the long way when you have a bullet bill. So there's a look at some of the shortcuts in Delfino Square. I'd say the one where you cut between the buildings is probably the better shortcut of the two. There's really not any shortcuts in Waluigi Stadium from Mario Kart Double Dash, but I do have a few tips that you guys can maybe use. The first one is that right off the start, you're going to want to begin building up a power slide, like I'm doing here, and keep yourself angled for when you fly off the ramp, and then let go of the power slide to even yourself out and go straight off this ramp. Don't even go for the half pipe area directly behind there. It's just going to cause you to lose a lot of time. And then the other thing you can try out is to ride on these boost areas up on the wall here. And you want to try to keep yourself as even as possible with them. So don't perform the stunts. In other words, don't shake the controller. And yeah, just try to keep yourself as even as possible, riding around on the boost there. And you'll be able to avoid all those annoying piranha plants in the center. So there you go. Even though there's no shortcuts in this track, you can still try out those tips and see if they work for you. Alright, so I think we have time for one more, and I decided we should probably end this with Coconut Mall, because there's a lot of different routes you can take. But there's one main shortcut that will really give you kind of a nice edge over the competition here. It's just past the first elevators. Of course, you want to get on the elevators that are going upward, and then duck into this little store here, and as you can see, it's a little shortcut, but the carpet is going to slow you down a little bit, so you're going to want a star, a mushroom, or something like that. So let's go ahead and take it again, but use a star through it. And you want to shake the Wii Remote when you go off the ledge there to get an added boost. And then, whoa, I'm actually hitting the signs on the ceiling. So yeah, go ahead and try out this shortcut. Sometimes it's even a shortcut if you power slide into it, so you might not even need a boost. And then there's also this little area over here that you can try to take as well. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap things up. Thanks for watching this video tour on the shortcuts for Mario Kart Wii. Hope it's been helpful. Obviously, there's probably people out there that knew about all these shortcuts, but I thought it might be helpful for some people anyway. So, once again, thanks for watching, guys.